to record. All righty. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Brandy with the Women's Business Center, and super excited to have you guys join and hear about TikTok for your business. I know that it's a quote unquote newer platform, and one that can also be intimidating, due to the fact that it's usually younger audiences and people are having a lot more potentially personality there. But we have Jasmin Closson with us today from Juniper Marketing, who's going to share how to take advantage of TikTok for your business and some tips and tricks. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jasmin.
Thank you, Brandy. And I just realized you're wearing my favorite color today, matching our brand.
Better
um,
believe it. Trying to be spring.
yes.
Oh, just
Okay.
one quick thing before I hand it over completely to Jasmin.
Yes.
Feel free to put any questions in chat and we'll answer those at the end of the presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so last week we dove into Instagram and Facebook, how to set that up. And this week we're going to talk about TikTok, which I was just telling Brandy is one of my favorite platforms. I've been on all of them at this point, and I really enjoy creating content there and building community. So we're going to dive in to how you can best use this for your business. If you haven't been to our previous sessions, my name's Jasmine. I'm the owner of Juniper Marketing, and we help small business owners streamline their business, but also show up on the front end with marketing. And we do it in a way that is sustainable and allows you to, post without burning out. So creating content that you actually love and that will resonate with your audience. Okay, so for TikTok, like Brandy mentioned, it is for most people think it's geared towards a younger audience, which is true. But with my personal account that I have on there, I've made so many friends with people that are in different age groups, but typically people who create content kind of understand the trends and all the different music and songs and dances, and that's typically geared toward the younger audience. But it's really a place where you can go and be yourself. And I know that sounds kind of weird because when I talk about marketing, I always tell people be genuine, authentic, all of those things. But TikTok really takes off the mask and allows you to just share who you are as a business owner so that people can get to know you. And that's how it works. Like when you build that trust with people, then they're more likely to work with you or buy your products. It's no longer about like, oh, I have this product, buy it. Well, what if this person over here is selling the same thing? How do I know who to go to and why should I buy from you? And TikTok really gives you that opportunity to showcase what your brand is all about, what your business is all about, and who you are as the owner. Okay, so setting up your TikTok business account, here's what you should know. So with all of these platforms, just like we talked through last week, when you sign up, they give you everything that you need in order to be successful with your profile. But sometimes we just want to get it set up and we skip some things, but it's important to make sure you have this checklist. So obviously the regular things, so having your name and your business email, make sure that you have a business email, not just like some random email you created in high school, because you want people to use this for the long run, and other businesses or your customers to reach out to this specific email. So make sure you have a business email and that it's professional. You also want to make sure that you set up your, just like Instagram and Facebook, your bio, um, and I go more into detail here, have your bio, have your email, make sure that you link any social media platforms that you want people to go to. So right now you can link Instagram and YouTube, and that doesn't count as a link. It counts, it's like underneath your bio. So you actually have a lot of places you can share things on TikTok, because now they have their own built-in shop. So you have that. You have platforms that you can connect people to. You have your email, your bio, and then you can also add a link tree. So they provide a lot of opportunity for you to lead people to different places. So when you're setting it up, just keep that in mind, and make sure to connect all of those things so people can reach out and work with you. Like I said, it's really straightforward. So I want to talk more on how to really grow as a business owner on TikTok, because it's not an app where you go and just promote your business. If you do that and every video is a promotion, you're not really going to do really well on the platform, not going to get that many views or engagement, because people, we have access to so many things now, and they don't want to just be sold to. They kind of want this relationship or this friendship with you. They want to get to know you, your name, what you do, all these things. So I kind of want to talk about how to grow on TikTok. Okay, so if you have products or services, the way you can go about doing this in a way that it's not promotional, but you're still selling your business, is that you can showcase what you're selling. So I always give this example, but if you're like a bakery owner, like show your bread or you making the bread. I've made sourdough before. I'm not an expert, but like talk through the process. Um, people want to, they want to be invested in your business. And then once they're invested, they become super fans, and then they're like, okay, how can we support you in any way that we can? How can we shout you to the rooftops? But again, you have to build that trust first before you're like, hey, come buy my product. So make sure that you're showcasing your products. And as I go through all of these things, like make sure that you're being that you're diving into each one of these buckets. So maybe one video you show your products, another video you're talking to your audience, another video you're like doing behind the scenes as you're working. And next week we're actually going to dive into creating, I didn't even start my timer. We're going to dive into creating a content calendar. Okay, so leveraging UGC content. So people actually do this for a job now. But basically UGC content is when businesses will send their products to people to create videos so that they can use. So remember, as a business owner, you don't have to do all the things. You can get your customers to create these videos for you. Obviously, you want to give them some guidelines, because people are funny and they will send you blurry videos and all of these things. So if you let them know ahead of time, like, hey, thank you so much. Like, let's say you have a brick and mortar and they come into your store, they buy some of your products. Maybe you have an email list that they can sign up to, and you send them an email and say, hey, if you create a video using our product, we will give you a $5 coupon. Some sort of incentive to know that you value them. And obviously, like nowadays, like people get paid a lot more than that. But that's more so if you're a bigger company. But if you're a small business owner, people will be happy to support your business if you just let them know. But if they don't know, they're not gonna just randomly create the content for you. So you can reach out to your customers and say, hey, like share this or share your experience with us. In this area, we have so many small businesses. So yeah, utilize your customers, or ask them to create this content for you. Participate in trends and challenges. I feel like there's a trend or challenge or something going on every day. So there's a lot of opportunity to try this out. You don't want every single video to be a trend, but I was watching before this, before I got on, basically how this business owner, she was on TikTok and she was creating, you know, and she was talking about her business and promoting, wasn't doing well. Then she kind of shifted her strategy and was like, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be funny. I'm going to be myself. And she gets millions of views on her videos now. Now, as a small business owner, I also tell people like it's not necessary to go viral. It does help increase your brand awareness, but it's not what you should be focusing on. Your main focus should be on building community and connecting with yeah, with your audience. And when you do that, you'll actually have a lot more fun. You'll feel connected, you'll feel excited, you'll get a lot more ideas. And honestly, for myself, when I kind of put out, okay, I'm not focused on views and likes, sometimes it happens because, you see other people going viral and you're like, oh, that's so cool. But most of the time, when you see people who come back again and they really love your content and they're engaging with it and sharing with, like, that means so much more than the numbers. So just keep that in mind when you are creating content. Again, when you are creating content, try to utilize all these different buckets. But another thing that I tell my clients is like just prop the camera up. I know one Sticky Spoon Jam, she's a local business owner, and I was up at her store the one day and she just propped the camera up and was making, like, she was showing the process of making jam. And people love that. We're nosy, we want to see how all the things work, especially if you're multi-passionate. I'm just like, how do you do that? I want to know. Tell me all the details. So don't overthink it. Just film the process, and you don't always have to, spend hours and hours on this stuff. It can literally be a 7-second video, which I think that's where TikTok is going back. They tried to do long form, but it didn't really work out. So they're going back to short videos, because that's what people can stick around for. Um, Depending on your niche or your business, educational content is really important, and TikTok does prioritize that, but it has to be in a way where it's super engaging and you can hold people's attention. So there's obviously like psychology and all these things around that. And if you do your research, you can do it well. But I will say that it's kind of an app where people go to be more so entertained, but you can learn a lot on the platform. Like, so there is a place for it, but just know that if you decide to educate, you just have to make it really engaging for people to hold their attention span. And watch time is super important on this app. So yeah, just know that when you are creating this type of content. Okay, how many things is water? Okay, just to recap, the best way to grow on TikTok is literally consume for a little bit, but don't overconsume, because that will literally stop you from creating content. But just put a timer on and scroll the app for 5 minutes, see what's going on, and you can save stuff to a folder and come back and create later. But it is a platform that you can't be afraid to experiment with. You're gonna put out content sometimes that maybe will get like 20 views, and maybe you put out another video that gets 28,000 views. So just keep an eye on your metrics, but don't let them stunt your growth and don't let them get you down or disappointed, because literally you're there to build community. And if you also do your part and engage with other people, you will grow. And that's more of a sustainable strategy to grow. Be creative, be yourself. Obviously, you can utilize AI to help you come up with content ideas. So let's say, again, if you own a bakery, you can put a prompt into AI saying, hey, I want to create a content calendar. Again, we're going to dive more into this next week, but you can use AI to help you generate different content ideas. I already talked about focusing on community, quality over quantity. So before they told you like you had to post like 5 times a day and do all of this crazy stuff, but the platform is really prioritizing original content, but also content that is quality. So all you need to have is a really good camera. You can use your phone, good audio, and very good lighting. So whether that's natural lighting or you buy a light to use like this person here, that's really going to help because people don't want to see, it's 2024, people don't want to see low quality videos. They're just going to scroll right past it. So do's and don'ts, I've already touched on some of these. Don'ts, obviously don't spam other people's accounts. You can't, I think maybe per hour, you could probably follow like 10 people per hour or something like that. But don't overdo it. There's a lot of people that just go follow accounts to grow that way, but that just doesn't work because TikTok will flag you and possibly put a pause on your account just to have you take a break from that. But you don't need to do that. Don't obsess over metrics. The do's, cultivate community. Like I said, that's like the number one thing you want to focus on. That's what you're there for. And if you keep that in mind, you'll have a lot more fun on the platform. You want to post quality content, take time to learn new trends, be authentic, and talk about your brand. I gave that example of that person who grew their business, and I think maybe she created like one video per week that was promotional, but the rest of it was more so behind the scenes or just funny. Yeah, just having fun on the platform. Um, so I have 50 seconds left. I give myself 15 minutes to talk. But I think that is all I had to share for right now. So yeah, we can dive into questions if you guys want.
Great. Since we have a smaller group, I am gonna just unmute everybody. So if you guys want to ask a question live, feel free to do so.
Use
Anybody
this
have
as
a
an
question? Maybe I'll get us started. Jasmine, are there any TikTok handles that you follow right now that you would recommend for the group to keep an eye on and watch?
um I never remember people's handles, but I will say like follow creators that have a large following because they keep up with trends. And so that's normally what I do when I want to know when there's a new trend out or a new song to use. I will go follow these big creators. I think one is like Anna X Star. I always look to her account. Um, I follow a lot of I follow a mix of small and large creators. But yeah, when you get on the account, also TikTok has a new search feature. So I always get it mixed up. But when you're on the platform and you search creator, I think it's creator search insights. Um, that's really helpful because it will let you know what type of content you should create. And TikTok is also prioritizes when you like they'll push videos when you use new features. So this is a new feature to help people know what content their audience wants to see. And so as a business owner, if you search that in there, it will help you know which type of content to create. But yeah, sorry, Brandy, I kind of went off on a tangent, but I would
That's okay.
say just yeah, try to follow some large creators so that you can get some ideas of what kind of content to create.
Jasmine, would you mind putting in the chat what you searched to help give people that tip?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Let me just creator search insights.
Anybody
Um,
else have a question for Jasmine?
and if you guys have whatever your business is, if you want to drop it in the chat to get some ideas of how you can show up on TikTok, I'd be happy to answer anything there too.
So is it true that everything is content?
Um, It's up to you on how you want it. I know people say that, and I thought that too, but then someone else was like, well, you know, you gotta live your life too. So there's a balance. And as a small business owner, you don't want to get burnt out because everything you're doing, you're like, oh my gosh, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. But if you are working and you can literally just put your phone or what camera on a tripod and get content that way, and it doesn't require you to do anything, I would say, yeah, that's content. But if you're out just living your life after work hours, I wouldn't. I would say like try to balance it. But during the workday, if you have, well, what's your business?
I'm essentially a crafter.
Ah, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna speak a little bit on this. So I'm a crafter. For example, I was watching a lady yesterday and she was live. So that's another feature you can do on TikTok once you get a certain amount. And she was just crocheting, but talking through like, you know, who she is and just like connecting with her audience. And then I even get on live and crochet sometimes too. So you can go live, you can show your creations, you can talk. I know another big thing for people is like, and I don't know how many orders you get in per day or per week, but people like to see you like package orders. So yeah, anything that has to do with your business, I think try to like film content when you can, but in your personal life, just be mindful of like giving yourself time down and you know, taking a break from it. Hopefully that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah. My problem is I always feel like it has to be scripted to
Oh yeah,
produce the best.
I don't script I would say like long form content you probably want to worry about scripting, but for short form content, like literally if something pops into your eye, and we're going to talk more on this next week about planning content, but as soon as it pops into your mind or you know think about other crafters too, and you can look at your competitors and see what they're doing, but think about things that either crafters struggle with or what they love, and kind of share. You can showcase your personality too. But yeah, when it comes to scripting videos, that's more so for long form content, but for short form content it's just like spontaneous, you know, random thoughts sometimes. And that's why I think like the younger audience does better with that, because we are just like we just have these random thoughts throughout the day and we just post it without thinking. Um, but that's the stuff that tends to go. If you see a lot of times people are like, I don't understand why this went viral. And it's just because it's just so real and authentic and relatable, that yeah, people just enjoyed it more when it's like that rather than when you spend hours and hour on something and then people are like, oh yeah, I don't know why
Yeah.
it's like that. But anyway, I'll just keep rambling because I just
I get it. It is a shift. I grew up more professional and have totally stepped away from all of that. And it does seem like if you are just who you are, it does work out a lot better on TikTok.
yep,
Yeah, I
just
was
let
going to
your
reinforce that I feel like TikTok is definitely the place where real is more accepted and encouraged and celebrated, where you know, Insta's a little bit going that way, but it definitely originated as Insta being like perfection, right? So,
Mhm.
um, you know, so I think you do have some of that ability to be a little freer, as Jasmine said, but you know, also make sure when you're creating content, you do have a message you want to leave behind, and that it
Right.
ties back to your brand. And then the other thing is test and learn. You'll know what works and doesn't work. Just watch your, you know, kind of analytics and numbers on the backside, and you'll start seeing where the themes of what gets positive response.
Yeah. I've noticed in my short little, I haven't been doing this for very long, so very short, is that it seems like it's trial and error, and that's the best way to go about it.
Mhm.
Agree.
Yep.
Agree.
Yep. Well, thank you for that question, and I'm excited. If you've already created your account, I'd love to follow.
I was
Awesome.
just gonna say that. Drop your account in the chat so we can follow you.
All right.
Well, with that, huge thank you again to Jasmine. We have a session next week is around content planning, so that'll be across all channels, but really thinking about how you plan your content, and get prepared. And I know for myself, if you can kind of almost look at the month ahead, it almost takes a little bit of the stress off if you have something in the plan, and then you can have some of those spontaneous moments, but not feel as much of that pressure of, oh gosh, I haven't posted in a while. What do I need to post? I'm having a creative block. So come back next Tuesday, same time, same place, and learn a little bit more on content planning. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Melissa.
everybody.
Thanks.